This morning on DC News Now, we're tracking the wind still with us. A few wind gusts in excess of 30, even close to 40 miles per hour. That's mainly, though, back over towards the mountains region. But when will we see those winds subside, and what can we expect temperature-wise? All those details with that Thursday forecast coming up.
Every second that we were hanging there, 9/10 of that second I spent worrying about slipping backwards and falling off that tower and knowing that that would be the end of us.
A DC News Now exclusive. The pilot who survived Sunday's plane crash recounts his rescue in his first TV interview. Hear more of the story and the terrifying night spent in an aircraft stuck in an electrical tower.
Also ahead this morning, families are waking up without a home after a fire tore through an apartment in Prince George's County.
Plus, Hogan for president? Maryland Governor Larry Hogan making moves, signaling he may have his eyes set on the White House. What we're learning as the governor's term comes to a close next month.
The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
All right, it's 6 o'clock for this Thursday morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey James.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. It is a cold and windy start to our Thursday. This is a live look outside. We do want to go right to meteorologist Jackie Lair with a check on our forecast. And Jackie, I don't even know. How long is this going to stick around?
Well, it looks like the wind will be sticking around through at least most of the day today. I'm thinking closer towards sunset is when we'll start to notice those winds peeling back. That cold air, though, will likely still be in place as we look ahead towards the day today. We're tracking high temperatures only to the 40s, but when you factor in the wind, it will actually feel like what those actual air temperatures are out there right now. We'll likely feel like we're into the 30s for much of the day. 37 right now is the current temperature in the district. 34 in Frederick, 33 over towards Martinsburg, right at the freezing mark. We're waking up to in Hagerstown. 33, though, down towards Fredericksburg. Low 30s for the mountains. Wind speed sustained, though. We're still dealing with at least 15 to 30 mile per hour sustained winds off towards the north and west. Closer towards the district, those sustained winds have peeled back just a little bit. Still between 5 to 10 miles per hour there. Wind gusts, though, still dealing with those, especially north and west of the I-81 corridor. We're looking at least 35 to 45 mile per hour gusts over towards Cumberland and Kaiser. Closer toward the district, that wind has subsided just a little bit. Those gusts now in the 20 mile per hour range at this point in time. But wind chills, those are still a thing this morning. Feel like we're into the 20s off towards the north and west of the district, but we're feeling like low 30s right now in D.C. Teens is what it feels like in Kaiser and Cumberland, so please make sure to bundle up. But at least we're all clear across the DMV and across much of the region. If you're trying to plan out the rest of your Thursday, temperatures climbing to near 40 by 11 a.m., likely upper 40s, though, later on this afternoon under those mainly sun-filled skies. As I mentioned, we'll feel a little bit colder, so just anticipate that. But I'll have more details and look at towards the rest of that 7-day coming up. Shanika's here, the very latest on traffic. How's it looking?
Well, good morning. We just made it to the 6 o'clock hour. We're seeing problems on BW Parkway heading southbound. Now, that's right near Greenbelt Road. Past this point, you're going to find a crash to the right shoulder. Either crash or a disabled vehicle. Nonetheless, you're dealing with two lanes and you can't get by that easily, so that's why you're seeing major congestion in this area. All that red here and right before 202. Now, after you pass that, you should be good to go into DC 295. You also might have problems along the Anacostia Freeway in Southeast, heading southbound as well. Over to Hyattstown, it's getting better. I do believe they did clear this crash right before 121.
All right, Shanika, thank you. This morning, nearly 50 people left without a home after a fire tore through their apartment building. This happened yesterday in Laurel, Maryland, not far from the 197 freeway. Lex Suarez is live at the Fox Rest Apartments this morning. And Lex, you said earlier the damage is extensive.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to step out of the way. It's getting a little lighter so we can actually show you now, but you can see they have caution tape still out here, and the entirety of the bottom of this apartment complex, the doors and windows all boarded up completely to protect people's things that are still inside, as well as just keeping things safe from the elements. What did survive that fire. Now, it took 4 fire departments to get the fire out yesterday. Prince George's County Fire was first on the scene around 2:45 in the afternoon. Firefighters saw flames coming from the roof of the apartment, and it took about an hour and a half for them to get that fire out. There was a total of 44 people who could not stay here last night, and some of them saw the fire. They just had to watch it as it tore through the building.
Pulled up, it was in a ball of flame. Called 911. Couldn't really tell. I smelled like it was burning like electric. So I saw it from 197, hoping it wasn't my building, and it was.
Well, the bright side to this story is that there was no injuries related to the fire. As far as the cause, we still don't have any word on that yet. Live in Laurel, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
All right, Lex, thank you. A DC News Now exclusive this morning. The pilot who survived Sunday's plane crash in Maryland is recounting the rescue in his very first on-camera interview.
Patrick Merkel and his passenger Janet Williams miraculously made it out of that alive. Now, this is the second time he and all of his passengers have survived a plane crash. Merkel admits he may have been flying too low when his plane became lodged in that cell tower, leaving him dangling there for 7 hours. Our Joseph Omo sat down with him in a story that you will only see right here on DC News Now.
If we had been 6 feet either side of that transmission tower, it would have taken off a wing and we would have simply fallen to the ground and perished.
Tonight, for the first time since his name made headlines across the globe, Patrick Merkel telling DC News Now about what it was like crashing his small, single-engine plane into an electrical tower and miraculously living to tell the story.
Every second that we were hanging there, 9/10 of that second I spent worrying about slipping backwards and falling off that tower and knowing that that would be the end of us.
Merkel was making the trip back from Westchester, New York. His friend Jan on board, the two on approach into the Montgomery County Air Park in Gaithersburg. It was dark, visibility was low, and Merkel admits,
well, quite obviously I was flying too low. So, you know, however I ended up flying too low, I'll have to review that with the FAA and the NTSB.
The crash happening right around 5:30 Sunday night. What followed was an intense rescue operation that took over 7 hours. Merkel telling us he faced some grueling choices.
Rather than slide back down and die hitting the ground, I popped out the windshield, lifted off the dashboard, and was ready to get out of the aircraft and into the superstructure and to get Jan, who was more injured than I was, out of the plane as well, and to wait either up on the superstructure or to come down the ladder, which is on the side of it, to get to the ground. The chief told us, you know, he was concerned that the tower was electrified and that he didn't want us getting into a situation that made it even worse.
So they stayed in the fog, in the dark, and then came along a blistering wind.
And we were asking, did you bring blankets? You know, because, you know, me worried about having to jump out of the airplane. I've opened up the whole canopy, and it's cold up there.
How cold?
And it's frickin' windy. So it was, and with blood loss, you know, we're getting even colder. So I was very worried about hypothermia for myself and for Jan.
Merkel's son making the trip from Philadelphia the moment he heard about the crash. He made it to the site while his dad was still stuck over 100 feet up.
It was around 9 o'clock when he got the news. By midnight, he was at the scene.
So your son watched you get lowered from a bucket 100 feet up?
Yes, he did.
And as for any reflections, now 3 days after the crash?
It's a miracle. I'm not here because of anything I did right. I'm here because God wants me or Jan or both of us to be around for quite a while longer.
Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Joseph Omo.
Yeah, lucky to be alive there. Developing now after a long wait to bring closure to the case, a judge rules that Katherine Hochul is incompetent to stand trial. This means the state must now drop all charges against her in the disappearance of her children back in 2014. Now, Hochul's defense attorney argued that nearly 20 doctors found her unable to defend herself and diagnosed her with schizophrenia. Troy Turner, the children's father, was not pleased by the results.
This system is broken. Whenever someone can murder 2 children and then be treated as a regular patient, be given more rights than the kids or the survivors around them who they've affected, there's something really wrong.
Prosecutors will be able to charge Hochul in the future if her condition improves.
Developing now, the head of D.C.'s Housing Authority is in the hot seat this morning following a scathing report that exposed dozens of problems in her agency. Our Annalisa Gale was at that meeting of the D.C. HUD as the City Council grilled her with questions.
In January, We plan to host mass eligibility events for 3,500 to 5,000 invited applicants from our public housing wait list.
The D.C. Housing Authority responded to a report citing severe mismanagement and unlivable conditions for those who rely on public housing in the city. The Housing and Urban Development Audit challenging the D.C. Housing Authority to fix the ongoing issues.
At times, I have seen young children the same age as mine living with visible mold and mildew.
We are here today to discuss our responses to the September 30th, 2022 HUD assessment report.
Executive Director Brenda Donald says since then she has now corrected several problems pointed out.
We have been chipping away at the wait list. It was over 40,000 when I first got here. In the last year and a half or close to 2 years, we have housed over 3,000 people.
Donald admitted that changes were needed, but disagreeing in some areas.
14 of the findings have either already been fully corrected or we are disagreeing with them with evidence in support of our position, for instances where HUD believed we needed to pay back dollars.
But council members still had lots of questions for the city's largest landlord about how the agency is being managed.
What is the total amount of money that HUD has stated you owe back, and how much of that money has been paid, if any?
We have to have the conversation with HUD and their response to our pushback to see if they agree. If they disagree, then it's a negotiation, and we don't know the magnitude of that exposure.
As a council member, I'm concerned that if the consultants were necessary, that why didn't we bring these consultants on a year ago or a year and a half ago?
Annalisa Gale, DC News Now.
And just weeks after the midterm, eyes are already on the 2024 presidential election and who may challenge former President Donald Trump for the Republican nomination.
And among the potential candidates, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan. Last night he held his second fundraiser, raising collectively more than $1 million. Hogan also launched a political action committee called Better Path Forward. In the past, he has been a fierce critic of the former president, positioning himself as an alternative to Trump. Hogan says any official decision to run will come after he leaves office next month.